how y'all doing? Alright, thank you guys for joining me for another video. So today we have a special video, and so I'm gonna make chocolate chip cookies, but I'm not just gonna make chocolate chip cookies because, like I said, I love to bake. So I have perfected my chocolate chip cookie recipe, and I'm gonna share with you all because people love this recipe. So I'm gonna help you guys make that. Alright. But the other thing too is, as you can probably see, so I'm in my kitchen right now. My kitchen is a giant mess. There's a plant. There's a plant in the sink, okay? And this is the issue with living by yourself, is that your stuff could get to this point. Yeah, it takes me like a week of living like this, and then I'm like, all right, Kevin, get yourself in order, get your life in order, get your home in order, okay? Because happy home, happy house. I'm gonna clean it up, and I'll be right back. Now we're vlog style. Okay, so for your ingredients that you're going to need, you're going to need your basic cookie stuff. And if anyone's made cookies, you already know kind of what you need. But if you have made cookies, which is maybe also why you're here, because you need help just from scratch, this is the basic things you need, okay? I'm gonna leave all of the ingredients in the description, but you are gonna have to watch the video to see the process. Do you know what I mean? So you're gonna need your dry ingredients, all right? So you have your flour, you have, in this case, you're gonna need like a bread flour, baking soda, kosher salt. I don't have kosher salt, I just use this one. Doesn't matter too much, you just wanna give a little balance of something, all right? Then you get your wet ingredients. Now you're like, wait, this isn't wet? Well, you're wrong, okay? Because it will be. And I forgot one to put in there. But it's butter, unsalted butter. So you need your sugar, your white sugar, your brown sugar, I don't have vanilla extra, I use imitation, all right? This is a cheap recipe, espresso powder, very important. Obviously your sugar, your 2 eggs, and then you're gonna need your chocolate. So I love chocolate, okay? So the key is to get different types of chocolate. So you see this one is semi-sweet chocolate, and then this one is like a dark chocolate. So it, like, using these two things gives it its complexity. The other thing that I want to point out about the ingredients is the espresso powder gives it a little kick. We're gonna use a certain percentage of sugar, like it's gonna be more brown sugar than white sugar because the sugar actually does something different to the way the cookie bakes. And then the last important thing is we're gonna actually brown the butter. So we're not gonna do it like kind of how it is raw. We're going to cook this over the stove and brown it, okay? That's what's gonna give it this really kind of like earthy taste to it. All right, you guys, this is the thing I recommend to do first. It is to brown the butter, because the thing is with the butter, when you do mix it in with like the sugars, you're gonna want that to be like almost room temperature. Honestly, what I do is I'll brown the butter and I'll go do like some other thing like in the day. Don't go for too long though. Do not go for too long. Okay, see, there's a blend of this, okay? So when you brown it, it's gonna be like liquid and it's gonna be hot. You don't want it to be hot when you mix it with the cookies, with the sugar. But you do want it to be room temperature. But now the other side is you don't want the thing to cool down all the way, because when it cools down all the way, it's going to become like solid again, like just like how the butter was, okay? So I'm going to brown this butter. So it looks like we're gonna need 2 sticks of it, which is going to equal to about 1 cup. But a lot of, oh shit, it's like little mini ones. But I think I actually have an old butter. Sorry, y'all. Old butter. How much is this old butter? Why do I leave my stuff like this? Wait, this is how much? This is 1/4 of a cup probably. One whole thing is, okay, there's like a 1/4 of a cup. This is another 1/4 of a cup. So this is like half a cup right here. I need like that much. You need about that much, okay? So this is like half a cup, okay? Now get your saucepan. Alright, so I want to show you guys what this looks like when you brown it. So you do want to mix it pretty frequently. You can see that it's kind of breaking down. Now, when it breaks down like this, it does kind of get a little foamy, and it's kind of hard to see the butter when it gets foamy. But you want to make sure that you don't burn the butter. So like, honestly for me, like when it gets kind of to this like very like light gold color, I take it off, because if you think about like, I don't know if you guys know this, but like when you make eggs, for example, the egg keeps cooking even after you turn the stove off because the pan itself is hot. So it's actually a really similar case. Like once it gets that like kind of light gold color, I turn it off because I just want it to kind of keep cooking. Like I want it to cook a little bit to a darker gold, but I don't want it to burn. So I'm gonna show you guys like this. So now that it's kind of foamed up a little bit, you guys can see what I'm talking about, that it's hard to see underneath it, but if I kind of move it around like this, you can still see like that it's kind of yellow underneath it, and that's what I'm talking about. So you have to be paying attention. You have to be mixing it often. That way it doesn't burn. So I'm just kind of watching it here. Like I said, I'm mixing it, and I wish you guys could honestly smell what this smells like. It smells so good. Like you can just, it's just giving rich. Okay, it's giving the Huxtable family. It's giving Devil's Wears Prada. All right, I'm over here stumbling over my words just to say it, but just to show you guys it's good. Okay, so actually this time, like, you see it's actually not like super foamy. You can clearly see it, and it's super yellowy right now. Now we want that to just get into a lighter golden. Now, if you miss the spot, honestly, don't even worry. Like, as I'm filming this, I'm probably gonna miss it right now because I'm like kind of half paying attention to it, half like holding the camera over this. So don't even worry too much. And maybe I should turn on the light or something. But y'all are seeing it. Like, it looks more golden now that I turn the light on. But also, yeah. Okay, so like this is another thing too that I didn't know when I was first doing this. You see, it's kind of like turning this like translucent color. That's totally okay. Okay, that means you're getting close to the browning phase. Because what you're browning is kind of like the little particles inside of the butter. I'm not sure the exact science behind it, but like, because I was like, is it brown? When I was first making it, I was like, is it brown? It's like turning like a different, like it's turning like clear now, you know what I mean? That's totally okay, alright? Just gotta hang in there for a little bit more. Okay, do you see that color starting to peek back in right there? Do you see that? It's like this light brown right now. Okay, and for me personally, like, I don't like to wait too long to take it off. I take it off right now. I've moved it from the burner because even from the moment that I moved it over here, it's now turned this like really dark brown, and that's exactly how you're gonna want it because it's still cooking in here. So that's what I'm saying. Don't wait until it's this color to move it, because when it turns this color, it's gonna be black probably by the time you guys by the time it's still gonna continue cooking. You want it to be this nice golden. Oh, this is good. Okay, I did a good job on this one. All right, I pat myself on the back. Okay. I'm telling you, I always miss it. I'm just impressed that I was able to see it while you guys were also seeing it. It is such a good idea to do this, like the browning part, and like just go do something else. Like, so if you're running, like if you have other errands to do for the day, if you have you're like cleaning your house, you're preparing this for guests or something, I would say cook this up, go do the errand. Like, go do that quick little errand, like go to the grocery store or whatever, go like clean up your house and stuff, like go do something else, and then come back to this, okay? It's gonna be there for you when you're back. If you're like me and you just wait till last minute to do it, another good tip that I do is you could put it in the fridge, or you could put it in the freezer, or you could put it by a window. Kind of like if you ever grew up drinking chocolate, like that your mom or your grandma made, and like, you know, they bring it off the stove, they go put it outside so it can like cool down, that style, okay? So like, do something like that. Next step, okay, so now we need a big bowl because we're gonna mix all of our dry ingredients, okay? So I have them segmented here. I already showed you guys them, but we're going to need 1 cup of bread flour. Like I said, check the description because I'm gonna put the ingredients, like the amounts that you guys need, all right? But the vibes are only in this video. And I'm not one of those cooking shows, okay? Like, we're reusing the same cup that I use here, we're reusing it in the other part, and we're using the same teaspoon, okay? I don't know if y'all cook like that. To me, it's clean, okay? Hey, it's all going to be cooked and baked together, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna use 1 cup of the bread flour, 3/4 cup of the all-purpose flour, eyeballing it. Baking, okay? There's no perfect way to do it. Slightly different every time, but you're gonna get something good for sure out of this, okay? And then we need kosher salt, all right? And that's 2 teaspoons of the kosher salt. Or if you just have this like regular one, like you know you're cooking from your mom's home, you probably just have this one. So that's 1.5 teaspoons, okay? Teaspoons. And for you girls, alright, the ones that don't know how to bake or nothing, alright? So you can get a man, I'm gonna tell you, 3 of these equal 1 tablespoon. So when you need it, just use this one 3 times. But right now we don't need that. Right now we just need 2 teaspoons. Oh wait, no, we need 1.5. We need 1.5. Right, and then 1 teaspoon of the baking soda. Also, am I the only one, like tablespoons and teaspoons, they always trip me up. So I literally, when I'm following a recipe and it's like teaspoon, I'll look at it, teaspoon, and I'll say to myself over and over, teaspoon, 1 teaspoon. Because I'm just like, just to make sure for sure that it's a teaspoon, not a tablespoon. When I say like all the dry ingredients, that's what this is. Okay, it's literally just powder. The reason why you do this first or like separately is just because you want to make sure that like all your powders are basically mixed together before you do any like wet ingredients, because then it's going to be harder to make sure that everything truly is mixed together. So that's what I do, okay? And like I told you, this is not one of those cooking shows where they have like a nice clean thing. I'm using the teaspoon, or I'm using the teaspoon to mix it, because that's what we got, alright? Not wasting more dishes, alright? If anybody's like me, does not, like, I'll clean my home, but I don't know why. Dishes is like the last thing that I like to do. So now we mix that up together in a little bowl. Moving on to the next step, which is now our wet ingredients. And I say like wet-ish ingredients because you have like sugar and other stuff, but hopefully you've cleaned up your station, alright? Like, we clean as we go, okay? We put stuff away as we go, so that's next tip for you. And like I said, I'm reusing the same one, right? So 1 cup of this brown sugar. White sugar, I'm using cane sugar because that's all I could find. Half a cup, right? And then what you're gonna do is you're going to pour in your butter. Now, for your butter, it's really hard to see because it's a dark pan. There's little tiny flakes inside of it. You want to try to get as much of those. When you pour it in, you're gonna see them a little bit more. You want to get as much of those because those are the ones that you browned, and those are the ones that you actually want in here so that it can really enhance the flavor. You know, you get your spoon and you scrape the bowl, because that's like a lot of those little brown bits are stuck inside there. And I'm sorry, you guys, I cannot slump it with y'all because I'm not about to mix this by hand. But actually, this is a lot easier than using like the raw or like the full butter, because we've now like melted and browned it. It's actually a lot easier to mix it by hand with this recipe. But I like to use my little mixer because that's just, like, I have one, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you, okay? I have one, so I'm gonna use it. So now I'm gonna put this down here and I'm gonna mix it, right? And when you mix it, you want it to kind of, you want everything obviously mixed, but it's gonna make this kind of like brown little mixture. Like, I don't know, it's gonna be like light and fluffy, like a light brown fluffiness. Oh shoot, I also forgot. You need 2 tablespoons of the water. So this is like the tip that I gave you guys, that's what's gonna come handy. So do the math, baby. Okay, it's 3 of these is 1 tablespoon, so we need 6. Alright, so when it's done mixing, I guess I could show you guys a little bit of what it looks like. Our baking is not a perfect thing. I know, like, I say this now that I've messed it up. But it's like, mine's like more of this kind of like soupy-ish quality. But that's kind of okay, I think, because it's all gonna get mixed together pretty much. I think as long as you can tell that it's kind of like mixed well, I'd say it's probably fine. I mean, you guys be the judge of your own thing. I think what I messed up in right now was probably when I put in the water, it was not, like, the water's kind of supposed to be room temperature. The water that I get from my little like water dispenser is really cold. So I feel like that kind of maybe messed up like the consistency of it. But that's okay. That's okay, alright? We're gonna track forward. I put in like the last ingredients and then I do like another mixing of everything. For the espresso powder, I personally use 2 teaspoons of it, just because I really like the way it tastes in it. Like the point of the cookie is really that it kind of has this kind of, you kind of have a complexity of flavor. Like, yes, it's chocolate, you also have a little espresso in there, you have your like white sugar, your brown sugar. It's kind of like a mixture of a lot of different things. Like, you have your butter and it's brown. It adds like a lot of layers to the cookie, which I personally like a lot. Actually, I lied. I used 1.5 because last time I did 2 and I felt like I was going off the walls with it, so I'm gonna use like 1.5. And then for your vanilla extract, you're gonna need 2 teaspoons. Then your eggs, 2 eggs. Well, 1 egg and then 1 egg yolk. How do we get the egg yolk out? Like, I did it, but I didn't show you guys. Basically, just like over the sink, you just like pass it back and forth. Just try to be careful a little bit because you could break the egg yolk and then like you lose it. But yeah, just kind of like pass it back and forth. Cookies are like probably my favorite dessert, right behind ice cream. I love ice cream. When you're adding eggs into something, it's actually really good to do it slowly, because you don't want to there is a thing that's like overbeating the egg. So you don't want to overdo it. You just want to do like a light little mix. If you're doing it by hand, you're kind of in control of that, so there's not really anything to worry about. So I do want to show you guys what it looks like when it's mixed together, okay? Because now it is kind of more of that brown look. Can you see that? And then you're gonna slowly start adding in your flour. And I do that in thirds. I just do it in thirds, like just eyeball it, okay? When you add the chocolate chips, if it's not fully mixed in, that's totally fine. when you add the chocolate chips and everything, you're gonna mix it by hand anyways. Because, yeah, you're not gonna use this anymore. Now that all your dough is mixed together, I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. It should look like this. And like I said, if you have flour to the side, that's totally fine. What I recommend you guys to do, because we're gonna chop up the chocolate bars. So I'd recommend that you guys like preheat the oven if you're gonna want to eat them right now. It's just timing stuff, okay? It's like while one thing's going on, another thing's going on. So let's preheat the oven, and I'm gonna show you guys how to chop the chocolate bar. Another angle here. Now you guys are probably asking yourself, why are we using chocolate bars and chocolate chips? Now I told you guys about like complexity of flavor. That's one part, which is like, this is like milk chocolate and this is like a dark chocolate. The other part too is that, if you guys didn't know, when you have chocolate chips has like this little encoding around it which helps maintain its shape when it's being cooked in an oven. But when you like get a really good chocolate chip cookie, you actually want it to be like kind of gooey a little bit and like the chocolate to be melted. The chocolate bar melts in the oven when it's cooked. So that's why you want that gooey texture. Now I like to use a dark chocolate bar. I think it'd just be good to use any chocolate that's not, like, just use 2 different types of chocolate, basically. You know what I mean? You could pick whatever you want, but I think it just, like I said, it gives that complexity of flavor. So I'm gonna chop this up and show you guys how to do that. And now we're gonna mix the whole thing. So what I do is, gonna use my little spoon again, that I've already been using. Get all the dough off. Also, just be careful if you cut it over like the little aluminum. Just be careful that no aluminum gets in your cookie. I'll take like I'll kind of look inside a little bit, kind of move it around. And then the cookies. Now I like to leave a little bit so that when I put it together, or like put the cookies on, I put like a little bit on top. And I just mix the whole thing together. It's like a big old batter. And again, I'm using the spoon. That's all you need, a little tiny tablespoon. You see that? Now I need to use more dishes. I'm telling you guys. Oh my god, this looks so good. I hope that you guys are also really enjoy this recipe, because I'm telling you, it's really good. It's really, really good. I'm not just saying this to say it. Like, I love cookies and I'm a cookie fanatic. I have not had a cookie outside of my, well, actually that's not true. I've definitely had a cookie outside of my home that I liked, but I like this one more. Look at that! It looks so good. It's so chocolatey. You're gonna leave some chocolate to the side. That way, when you put the cookies together, you can put those little chocolates on top and just make them like look really like cute and presentable. I washed my hands like another time just because I'm gonna be like handling the cookies. But you have your dough and you have your pan, and then you have like, hopefully, if you don't have parchment paper, it's kind of okay. Just spray down the pan. But I do. Even though someone like in their like fancy kitchen does it one way, like you don't have to do it that way, okay? Now I make like little kind of cookies, but not that little actually, it's not true. Another tip too is like, if you're not gonna make it for that day, you guys can put the cookie batter in the fridge, and then when you are gonna make it, just take it out, like let it kind of like thaw out for like 10-15 minutes, so it'll be like, how I have my fingers right now, it's like super messy. It'll be a lot cleaner to make them into balls. So I'll do that too often too. I'll make the batter, and then like I'll put it in the fridge and I'll just go do something else. Like I'll let the batter kind of like solidify. I'm really giving you guys the tips, okay? This is a good like step, because I didn't like, yeah, someone could tell you how to make the recipe, but it's like the little things that I feel like people don't say, which is like what actually kind of goes a long way. Like I try to make like, you guys know like conchas, like the Mexican pan dulce. I try to make those like so many times, it might have never come out how I want them to come out. And I'm like, there's something that they're doing there that's like, that I'm not doing. Okay, look at my hands, that's what I'm telling you guys. Put it in the fridge, like go do something else too if you guys have that time, and then come back to it. So I'm gonna put this in the oven. I think I might have forgotten to say, but you put them in there for 12 to 14 minutes. I like to do 13 minutes because I don't like it to be too gooey, and I don't like it to be too hard. Also, another thing is, when you take them out, they will of course be gooey. Give them some time to settle, and then you can move them and keep baking it. Because actually, the recipe that I shared with you guys, it's probably like 20 to 30 cookies that you're gonna be making. So I recommend also too, if you're going to go somewhere, you're gonna share these, or you just have a big family, or you just like cookies, okay? If you like cookies that much, I mean, it's gonna make a lot. It's gonna make a lot. Just keep that in mind, alright? If you like them that much, make it for just yourself. But if you're like, it's best, I like to make it if I know I'm gonna go see like friends or family or like that, like, then I can share it, you know? Alright, you guys, I just took them out of the oven, and I want to show them to you guys. Doesn't that look so good? Alright, it also smells amazing in here. Look at that. Okay, ready? Oh my god, it's so good. It's as good as I remember it being. You see that? It's like ooey and gooey inside. That's really good. Okay, look at my teeth. Oh my god. It's really good. It's really, really good, you guys, okay? You will thank me later for this recipe, I swear to God. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm gonna finish baking all like 30, 40 of them. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys like the recipe. Definitely give it a try. I'll leave the recipe, the ingredients in the description. And tune in for the next one.